The first idea that they put out was that we should have an energy audit on the house. It's easy to suspect one thing or another, but until you have a documentation of where the problems are, you really are just kind of shooting in the dark. So that's the first thing we did. We had, and not only one, we had two, which was my demand to check one against the other, make sure we're not getting incorrect information. And it turned out both energy audits provided about the same information, pointed out the same problems. So with that basic information, then we designed a plan to improve the energy efficiency of the house. It included a lot of insulation, a lot of weatherization, solar heating for hot water, and we expanded the geothermal capability of the house. And through that process, in addition to that process, we also added ways to monitor these systems so we could tell what's happening. It was not before I was just relying on a monthly electric bill, a fuel bill, to tell me how much energy I was using. We incorporated the ecobee thermostat system, which gave us a tremendous amount of information of when the systems were working, how hard they were working, the impact on the temperatures of the house, this sort of thing. We had a Google power meter which monitored the electric demand for the whole house, and we could see the impact of various appliances, including the geothermal, and were we getting improvement or were we or not. So the instrumentation was critical in knowing what was going on so that we could fine-tune the system to improve the energy efficiency of the house. I think if I had to make any recommendations to others that may be considering the same things, it would be first the energy audit. Get the complete picture of what the house is before you do anything. You may suspect windows, you may suspect door cracks, you may suspect heating systems. The energy audit gives you a complete picture of what you need to concentrate on. And then once the system is installed, it's important to have some way to monitor the performance of the system so that you know what's happening with the various components, so that you can fine-tune the system to really get to maximize the efficiency. Well, at first, I had no reference point to know whether I was using a little bit or a lot, but as time went by and you, from day to day, you could see how much you were using, when it was being used. I could begin to adjust temperatures on the heating system, cooling system, reduce the lighting in the dryer, the dishwasher. You got an indication of what all those components were using, the demand on electricity was, and therefore you could modify your usage patterns to try to maximize the efficiency. The first thing, the most valuable thing right off the bat that Google Power Meter shows is we had a floor heating system, a radiant floor heating system up in one of the bathrooms that was malfunctioning and essentially was drawing power continuously without producing the heat. And we discovered that with the use of the Google Power Meter, that it told us something was malfunctioning. There was a demand for electricity that we couldn't account for. And through a process of investigation, essentially we located the faulty radiant floor system and got it turned off. Yeah, it definitely was. There was so much that there were so many different aspects of this project, and I certainly didn't have the expertise in probably in any of them, maybe a little bit in some and not so much in others, but having an expert come in to coordinate and oversee the thing was a tremendous help. I suppose that an individual who is very technical and has lots of time, maybe even with experience in this field, could do it on his own, but I couldn't have done it that way. It would have been, I made the original mistake of going the wrong direction right off the bat. I had to correct that just by not having somebody that knew the business and could oversee the project.